Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the big video. It's a zine speed paint video. It's been a while since I've been in a zine. Um, they are big investments, big time investments, especially because they're collaborative. I meant to say collaborative zines. Um, in the case of videos, I've always wanted them to be like these really big events. Of course, it's kind of hard to translate that when it's just sort of another speed paint for everyone else. Um, at least that's what I wanted the Rex Xenoblade zine speed paint to be like, and the Final Space zine speed paint. I don't know. I always liked the idea of being a part of these really big collaborative events. Um, I think the first collab thing I've ever done, there was a Mega Man uh, Robot Master collaboration where like everyone was drawing a Robot Master. I think I did Airman, I believe. I don't think I made it a speed paint, but I that was like the first one. I'm trying to think of like the first zine I ever did, right? I don't know. It's really hard to think of. I don't know. It might have been the Final Space one, maybe. Nevertheless, I kind of had to stop doing them for a while, mostly because it's like, because the thing about zines though is that like, when you're creating a zine, you're making a really big picture that's going to be seen by a whole bunch of people. So for me, I figured, you know what, this is going to be kind of like a practice for the big leagues, I guess. And so I'd make a really big picture and like basically what I'd do is that I'd hope that this would lead to some, some networking stuff, being able to communicate with other with other talents and being able to show people the stuff that I've created, show it to people who haven't seen it or haven't gotten a chance to see my work. And I guess for me, my initial thought was, I don't really feel like this investment of time is paying dividends. Like you spend like months on this stuff because you're not just working by yourself; you're working with other people. And sometimes I like to get stuff done early, but in most cases, I use the allotted time for the check-ins and stuff. So for me, basically, it's like you're spending like a huge investment of time on this project, and sometimes you make this stuff and not a whole lot of people to pay attention to it. It's just like any other drawing. And so I guess sometimes I felt kind of disappointed by that. And so I think like basically last year it was like i I had a lot on my plate. I wasn't working on projects that I wanted to work on initially, the like the webcomic I've always wanted to draw, uh, and like Pineapple Grenadier talks about stuff, and maybe even animation. And so I had to sort of take sort of like a chill pill on doing a whole bunch of zine stuff, just because I don't really think I don't know, it wasn't really panning out, I guess. But I don't know, one was pretty chill. I'm familiar with the people who organized the previous zines. So for me, it was like I recognize these dudes. These guys are pretty chill. This is kind of a low stakes sort of deal, because this isn't like a paid zine or like a charity zine. It's just a free zine that's in celebration of, I believe, Resident Evil 8 Village? No, Resident Evil 7 Village? You're gonna have to excuse my lack of knowledge of the Resident Evil series. I'm not a super huge horror fan, you know? I'd say that being scared isn't one of my favorite sensations. So this is a franchise that I just don't have a whole lot of knowledge on. I'm I'm definitely aware of this character though, Lady Diramatsu, I believe. Like I said, lack of Resident Evil knowledge. I just, everyone's drawing fan art of this character, and I was like, initially I was like, should I join in? And I was like, I don't know, I don't really care that much, you know. Yeah, I'll just step out. And then the zine came out, and I was like, I think this could be fun, I could draw something I don't normally draw, and maybe I could make a cool video out of it. And so that's basically where we are now. And so I think my initial idea was to do something kind of, because I don't know, I figured people were going to be doing more sort of like either more horror stuff or more pulpy stuff. So I wanted to do something kind of more goofy and cartoony, a little bit cute. And this feels kind of like a Cuphead sort of thing, right? Like kind of like a Cuphead boss or something. I think that was like my initial inspiration. I think this is my favorite attempt of lineless stuff yet. I think most of the stuff I've done has I don't know, it's I think this one is taking the cake as like probably my favorite lineless art thing. I think this is like the closest I think the finished product has come close to like my vision of what I wanted it to be, which I like a lot. I don't know, there's just a lot of like cool little details and stuff. Usually when I do these, it's like you make one big shape and you just work down from biggest detail to smallest detail. So it's like, so I do a lot of I'm fixing a lot of details on like, the big lady, and it's like you got to make sure everything looks nice. And so you work down, you scale down, and you start throwing down a few more details and stuff. I really like how the face turned out. I think the face turned out really nice. Things get kind of funky when we start getting into the background. Because like halfway in, I just forgot, oh man, this thing has to have a background. And so I'm like scrambling to try and figure out what I'm doing for the background. So initially I just had like this, this gradient, and I was like, yeah, this is just gonna be it, I was gonna have her like holding the protagonist over like this dark void. Oh, I'm gonna drop you into the void. Oh, it's gonna be so spooky. And that was initially it. And then I just forgot, hey, these things are supposed to have backgrounds. That's one of the requirements. And so I scrambled to throw together a background. I've seen very little actual footage of this game, so all I've seen is like maybe like her standing around in like a bedroom, I believe. So that's sort of what I end up doing. I just like draw like a door and a ceiling. I was like, yep, I'm just calling it a day. And then initially, like, I suppose because of all like the warm colors, all the dark warm colors, I thought, hey, this kind of looks like a fire, right? So I kind of like retrofit the picture to try and look like a fire, like she's holding him over a fire, which I think is kind of awkward, right? Because it's like I have no knowledge of this game, right? What if her weakness is fire, right? I think she's supposed to be a vampire, right? So like, I don't know. I don't think vampires are get killed by fire. It's like garlic and crucifixes and not silver. That's werewolves. And yeah, garlic, crucifixes. I don't know. I think anything could probably die with fire, maybe. I don't know. Then again, I don't think anybody really likes fire. I don't know. It's weird how mainstream horror is. It's because I don't know. I feel like the sensation of fear should be niche, right? But it's something that a lot of people gravitate towards. I used to work when I was at one of my colleges. I used to work in the film equipment department, and everybody used to have all these very, very detailed conversations about specific horror films and horror directors and stuff. And I was like, man, I don't know, I can't relate, man. I don't know. I'm not really sure if I'm really like super duper into, like, I don't know, like I think like one or two jump scares is enough to like ruin a movie for me and make me hate it. Like Horton Hears a Who has like two consecutive jump scares. Not into it. Hate the movie. man, I forget. Oh yeah, the Princess Bride. The Princess Bride has a jump scare with a stinking puppet fish. It's not the reason why I hate the movie, but it's one of the reasons, right? I just can't deal with it. I can't deal with spookity spiders or creepity witches. I don't know. I think the thing is though is that I think making horror stuff is interesting. I'm just not sure if I really like watching horror stuff. Like, I have ideas for stories that are like horror, like horror themed, right? Like horror inspired. I think that like making stuff like that is fun, right? But I'm not sure if I'm really into it, right? So for me, my question is like, do people who like do horror inspired stuff, do they like have to like study horror, you know? Is that like a requirement or something? Or is it like, can you just like make something that's inspired and you just go off of like, you know, your own personal feelings of what it feels like to be scared by something or something that you initially think is horrific, right? I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I think that's if it's anything for this video to go off of. I'm not sure if I'd be really into spending a whole lot of time watching horror films or playing horror video games. But nevertheless, I think engaging with this kind of stuff can be kind of interesting. At the very least, drawing out of my comfort zone, out of my, like, you know, outside of the usual topics that I usually draw. I think I gotta improve on maybe like rendering fire, right? I think, you know, looking back on it now, I think it turned out pretty alright. But I think like just drawing the shape of fire probably would have looked kind of tacky. I mean, maybe not, right? Because, you know, for the style, you use a lot of like big simplified shapes. So maybe it would have been an easier communication to draw the fire than trying to like simplify the illusion of somebody trying to create the illusion of fire. Well, I guess that's where the texture comes in, right? So it's like you, I'm able to sort of like cover all that up, you know, sort of like blur everything together and everything feels a lot more unified. I had a lot of fun with this piece. I'm not sure if I'd say it's my favorite zine piece. I think it has to figure out a way to top the Final Space or Xenoblade piece, but I really like this one. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you can stick around for more speed paints. I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing any more Resident Evil, but hopefully you liked this video, and I hope you have a nice day.
If you liked the video, leave a comment and tell me what you thought about it. Also, if you want to see more content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that you can always know when I upload a video. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.